Today, I want to talk about the Generation 10 starter Pokemon. I'm gonna kind of base this off. I'm gonna show you a ton of different concepts. No designs today, but just concepts for what I think we could see in Generation 10 for the starter Pokemon. I am going to be going off of a theory of mine, which is I've seen a lot of evidence. To me, it makes sense that this, what I'm showing right now is the leaked Generation 10 map. At least at some point, it's an early build. The final map could be a lot different. There could be more detailed. There could be, some different, maybe like a different configuration. But basically, the crux of the theory is that this map basically depicts Singapore, Malaysia, maybe a little bit of Thailand, and then Australia down here, right? So to me, that is three different major, I think there's also Brunei is somewhere in here, but that is three major countries that this region, quote-unquote Pokemon region, seems to represent. So it could be a situation where they are all, maybe represented in just by one singular region, but I really like the idea of actually this game containing or being made up of multiple Pokemon regions in the same way that that's kind of what we always wanted ever since Generation 2, right? You play through Johto, and then you go to Kanto, and it feels like you're part of this really big Pokemon world, right? The Sinnoh region has a version of this where you go to the battle, I think it's called the Battle Resort. This is something that's been kind of in the DNA of a lot of Pokemon games, even Sword and Shield, right? When you go to the Isle of Armor, like this idea that you play through a region and then there's even more locations to explore. So, at the fear of repeating myself, there's a whole nother video on the channel. You can go check that out, explaining this theory. But what I want to do today is show you a bunch of different starter Pokemon that we could see based on Indonesia, Malaysia, and Australia. Like I said, Malaysia kind of comprises a lot of what we're seeing right here. Indonesia, like the real world Indonesia, kind of seems to make up a lot of the islands that we're seeing on this map for down here and up here a little bit. And then this little tip right here looks identical to the little crown of Australia. So my theory, what I'm playing around with, is I think it'd be cool if in-game these three regions are introduced to us and recognized, and there is a set of starter Pokemon for each of these Pokemon regions. I just think this is a fun idea. And at worst, not at worst, but maybe more, I'll go through the list, but maybe more believable is that our professor, and it's looking like the professor is going to be, coming from this, Australia, this little patch that looks like an island that is inspired by Australia. There's a possibility that this professor maybe, gives us three starter Pokemon that basically represent Indonesia, Malaysia, and Australia. So let's get on to the list. First up, Indonesia, the Indonesian region. Again, however they're going to define it. So the grass Pokemon that I think could represent or be, I guess, fit. What's the right word? The grass type starter Pokemon that could fit an Indonesia inspired location or region would be the Fruit Bat. This is I feel like this is something that people want. There's a lot of really cool art depicting a Fruit Bat, and I think the Pokemon design kind of writes itself. Like, it's called a Fruit Bat. It eats fruit, so you got a mammal type little Pokemon creature that is literally maybe covered in berry juice or has berries on it. Or what I like is that the skeletal structure that you can see on the bat's wing, like its skin, is actually like very similar to the, I don't know what it'd be called, but like the veins of a leaf. So I think that'd be a really cool way to showcase this. Anyways, this Pokemon, grass type, Fruit Bat, it could be kind of based on a flying fox, and I could see it being grass and flying type. That's kind of a no-brainer, but I like that. And just maintain it as a grass flying type. Don't evolve it into a ghost type. I'm looking at you, Decidueye. But this would be perfect for the jungle canopy. Yeah, I think this would just be really, really nice. Also, we could see for the fire starter, a Komodo dragon. And to be honest with you, if this isn't a starter Pokemon, to me, this is like going to be a legendary Pokemon or a pseudo-legendary Pokemon. Like, I want to see this so bad. You can make it fire poison. You can make it fire dragon. You can make it fire dark. So sick. A volcanic apex predator. So cool. Again, I'm sure there are designs for a Komodo dragon online. I'm sure that exists. Yeah, I don't know. It could breathe fire. Its tongue could be made up of like little wisps of, of flames or whatever. These things are mean. These things run. They're called dragons. They're called Komodo dragons. It's got to be a fire dragon type. It has to be a fire dragon type. This would be so sick. And then also for Indonesia, I think it'd be really cool. We do have a double up on reptiles here, but I'm thinking about a water snake. Again, it could be water poison. Could be water dark. Water ghost, maybe. Could be, honestly, could be a lot of types. Maybe even water like electric or something. I'm not totally sure, but I like the idea that it would just kind of like, it is a reptile, but it's like fully aquatic. I mean, obviously it's a starter, so it could exist on land. But I think they could make this Pokemon look a lot different and very cute. We have Snivy, of course. Snivy is a snake. That's a grass type. I would love to see a water snake. We don't have a water snake Pokemon. Or a water snake starter Pokemon. So I'd love to see this. But yeah, amphibious. It could be stealthy. It could constrict, but I'm imagining this thing just kind of like it does its own thing. It's like it's a fish, but it's fully aquatic. I imagine like a lot of bright colors. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. This Generation 10 region, there are images showcasing that like Pokemon can do. They have like secret abilities that they can help you traverse the region. For instance, there's an image of Lumineon using its glowing ability to light up, the depths of the ocean. And I think this snake could do something very similar. Maybe it has the ability to kind of glow a little bit. Just its scales or whatever. Like I would hope they kind of, embellish this a little bit and give it some cool new features. I think that'd be a lot of fun. In terms of the Malaysian Pokemon, starter Pokemon, a grass type could be a tiger cub that evolves into a full-blown tiger. We have versions of tigers, I guess. Arcanine doesn't really count. Do we even have a tiger? I guess I thought we had a tiger. We might not have a tiger Pokemon. They could do something cool with this. Grass type, because it just like lounges around. There's like, not bamboo, but I don't know. I could see this thing being similar to Sprigatito, but a grass and fighting type would be kind of tough. Just because of how powerful this like big cat is, like grass fighting is kind of cool. And it would be completely different, like a completely different silhouette from, oh, I'm sorry. We do have a tiger. We have, oh my God. We have Incineroar. I totally forgot about Incineroar. Because I was kind of thinking they should make, like I like the idea of this tiger being a grass type, but I was kind of also thinking when writing this up, like, oh, it could also be a fire type, but I totally forgot about Incineroar, so it's not going to be a fire type. It would have to be a grass type, and I kind of like that. I like the idea of like, I don't know. I don't know. I think they could be kind of cool, but it's going to be so strong. It's just going to be like have massive attack. Yeah, the fighting type makes a lot of sense. I also think the fire type could instead, oh, I pulled up, here we go. Fire type, it could be a Tapir, similar to, we have the Munna line, which, okay. We have the Drowsy line, which, weird. I think it'd be cool to get this weirdo Pokemon, make it a fire type, maybe it gets a ground type, maybe it gets the dark type. I feel like the representation of a Tapir has been very mystical. It's always been psychic. But I think it could definitely have a fire type. I think I'm assuming these mammals are related, but like an anteater is similar, and we have an anteater with Heatmore, and that is also a fire type. So we could see something similar. Fire ground is a nice type, I think. Just kind of walks around on the earth. It's kind of like a hippo. It's kind of like a Hippowdon or a Torterra. So I think this could work. And maybe like Tepig, like it kind of like breathes, it exhales embers. That's kind of fun. Also for the Malaysian regional starters, we could finally get the proboscis monkey. This thing is so ugly. It's got a giant nose, but that nose, it's kind of looking like a bubble. That nose maybe expands with water and then it exhales the water. Like they could do something interesting with this. Water psychic type, the fighting type feels kind of cool. Water, I don't know. They could do a lot of things. The water fighting, for whatever reason, sounds kind of right. Maybe because of Urshifu. But it's supposed to be intelligent. So, yeah, water psychic. That's pretty fun. I think this is a pretty good lineup. Three mammals. We would have 3 mammals here, but we've got a monkey, we've got a predator with the tiger's so sick, and then the tapir is like a little bit dopier, but still pretty cute. And then finally, where is it? Let me pull it up for you. So if the Malaysian starters are up here, and the Indonesia starters are right in the middle, this strip right here, and they could do it differently, where it's like, okay, this is one. This, I don't know. They could do it a little bit differently, but like we got Australia down here, and honestly, maybe they say this little landmass as well as these couple islands. Maybe they're all, maybe they kind of extend the Pokemon version region of Australia into some of these other islands. Who knows? But the Australian region starters that I think we could be looking at, spoiler alert, these are kind of stereotypical, but I think there's no better opportunity than right now, because we actually are seeing Australia being represented on a map. We've got a grass koala. I just spoiled them. We have a grass koala, grass psychic, could just be grass type. Koalas are very slow. The psychic type kind of feels right, almost as if the Pokemon is like, it's biding its time. The normal type would kind of be a disappointment. Maybe just grass. But we got a grass koala, calm, sleepy, very observant, and just a different take on what we got with Kamala. Kamala is kind of cool, but I would want something a little bit different. And I think you could evolve this thing into a proper bear, just like a giant koala bear. And this thing could be just a crazy animal. You know what? Yeah, maybe the cub is like, it's like truly like a little baby. Like it always wants to hug and like hold on to its trainer. But then as it evolves, it kind of turns into like a fighting type monster, The psychic type actually feels pretty good. Next up for the fire starter, kangaroo. Come on, we need it. Firefighting. Bring us home. I'll take another firefighting type. If it's a kangaroo, I'll take it. It starts out as a little Joey. It's always kicking. It's honestly just like another take on like it's just another take on a. It's gonna learn Blaze Kick. It's a Blaziken. That's what it is. It's a Blaze. Maybe Blaziken is based on a kangaroo. And then we've got a platypus. Water poison. You all want it. We almost had it, and now it's a Temtem. A platypus would be really cool. And again, like I said, what we could see in this region, is maybe Darwin, the professor, who looks like Charles Darwin, the father of evolution. Maybe he actually collects, and presents a starter Pokemon, and one of them is from each of these locations. Here's one big island, here's a big island, here's a big island, and then this is like no man's land in the middle with the volcano, and you got 1, 2, 3, maybe there's 3 islands right there, and each one basically gives us a single starter Pokemon. And if that's the case, I would want for the grass type, I want my tiger. For the fire type, I want my Komodo dragon. I kind of like I do like the water snake. But maybe what we get instead, I guess they could give us the proboscis. No, give us the platypus. The platypus is so Australia. I guess, yeah, the platypus is Australia, if it's going to be an Australian region. So that's what I think. I would love to know what you guys think about all of these leaks. It's kind of fun to take some of this stuff and then expand it a little bit more. If you like videos like this, you can subscribe. We're growing pretty quick. It's crazy. It's crazy what you guys are doing for this second channel that was supposed to be a little outlet for me to get some ideas out. You guys are blowing up the channel. I got a lot of really cool stuff planned for the main channel that is super premium. I'm so excited. Go check out Dusty Go-Goat if you only follow or if this is the first time you're watching one of these videos. This is the second channel. First channel, I got some premium stuff. I cannot spoil anything. I'm really excited. I'm literally so excited to debut some stuff. It is going to be game-changing. I'm so excited. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what starter Pokemon you want to see in Generation 10.